Hello, and today on Nelson Boy's Awesome Videos, I'm going to be reading Diary of Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney, and today we are doing part 25, so let's get started. April, Friday. Ever since the worm incident, Riley has been hanging out with Colin Lee every day after school. What really stinks is that Colin is supposed to be my backup friend. Those guys are acting totally ridiculous. Today, Riley and Colin were wearing these matching t-shirts, and it made me just about want to vomit. Best friends. After dinner tonight, I saw Riley and Colin walking up the hill together, chumming it up. Colin had his overnight bag, so I knew they were going to have a sleepover at Riley's. And I thought, well, two can play at that game. The best way to get back at Riley was to get a new best friend of my own. But unfortunately, the only person who came to mind right at the moment was Fregley. I went up to Fregley's with my overnight bag to see, so Riley could see I had other friend options too. When I got there, Fregley was in his front yard stabbing a kite with his stick. That's when I started to think maybe this wasn't the best idea after all. Pant, pant, pant. But Riley was in his front yard, and he was watching me, so I knew there was no turning back. I invited myself into Fregley's house. His mom said she was excited to see Fregley with a playmate, which was a term I was not too enthusiastic about. Me and Fregley went upstairs to his room. Fregley tried to get me to play Twister with him, so I made sure I stayed 10 feet away from him at all times. I decided that I should just pull the plug on this stupid idea and go home. But every time I looked out the window, Riley and Colin were still in Riley's front yard. I didn't want to leave until those guys went back inside, but things started to get out of hand with Fregley pretty quickly. When I was looking out the window, Fregley broke into my backpack and ate a whole bag of jelly beans I had in there. Fregley's one of these kids who's not supposed to eat any sugar, so 2 minutes later he was bouncing off the walls. Fregley started acting like a total maniac, and he chased me all around his upstairs. I kept thinking he was going to come down off his sugar high, but he didn't. Eventually, I locked myself in the bathroom to wait him out. At around 11:30, it got quiet out in the hallway. That's when Fregley slipped a piece of paper under the door. I picked it up and read it. Dear Gregory, I'm very sorry I chased you with a booger on my finger. Here, I put it on this paper so you can get me back. That's the last thing I remember before I blacked out. I came to my senses a few hours later. After I woke up, I cracked the door open and I heard snoring coming from Fregley's room, so I decided to make a run for it. Mom and Dad were not happy with me for getting them out of bed at 2 in the morning, but by that point, I could really care less. Monday. Well, me and Rowley have officially been ex-friends for about a month now. And to be honest with you, I'm better off without him. I'm glad I can just do whatever I want without having to worry about carrying all that dead weight around. Lately, I've been hanging out in Roderick's room after school and going through his stuff. The other day, I found one of his middle school yearbooks. Roderick wrote on everybody's picture in his yearbook, so you can tell how he felt about all the kids in his grade. Jerk, cool. Every once in a while, I see Roderick's old classmates around town, and I have to remember to thank Roderick for making church a lot more interesting. Jerk. But the page in Riley's yearbook that's really interesting is the class favorites page. That's where they put pictures of the kids who get voted most popular and most talented and all that. Roderick wrote on his class favorites page too. Most likely to succeed, Bill Watson, Kathy Nagayan, nerd. You know, this class favorites thing has really got my gears turning. If you can get yourself voted onto the class favorites page, you're practically an immortal. Even if you don't live up to what you got picked for, it doesn't really matter, because it's on permanent record. People still treat Bill Watson like he's something special, even though he ended up dropping out of high school. We still run into him at the food barn every once in a while. Will that be paper or plastic, ma'am? So here's what I'm thinking. This school year has been kind of a bust, but if I can get voted as a class favorite, I'll go out on a high note. I've been trying to think of a category I have a shot at. Most popular and most athletic are definitely out. So I'm going to have to find something that's a little bit more in reach. At first I thought maybe I should wear really nice clothes for the rest of the year so I can get best dressed. But that would mean I would have to get my picture taken with Jenna Stewart, and she dresses like a pilgrim. That's going to be all for today on the Nelson Boys Awesome Videos Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. I hope you liked it, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe and check out some of our other videos. But other than that, see you guys later.